first, Dean Phillips.
Dean Phillips is 20 years of age from Llanelli in Wales. Former kickboxer, trained by his father, and he has a boxing ring in his own back garden. Made a bit of a name for himself when he fought the former world champion Colin McMillan, and there were quite a few people who saw that fight and felt that Phillips might have won it. He was the first man to put Colin McMillan on the floor. Good young fighter, pressure fighter, aggressive, but so is his opponent tonight, Peter Judson, and that's why this little scrap could be quite exciting. He's won his last 3 and hopes to project himself towards British Championship level. Tonight, one of those stepping stone titles on the line, the IBF Intercontinental title. We're at super featherweight, that's the 9 stone, 4 pound division.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome into the arena, Peter Judson.
Well, this young man, Peter Judson, is a fighter to the very sole of his boots. He'll have some support as well here tonight. He might be a Yorkshireman fighting out of Keighley, but he's based in Manchester these days with the Phoenix camp. Billy Graham there, who's done such good work with the local fighters around here, following him to the ring. Former dustman. He's lost his last 3 fights, Judson, but usually he's mixing in pretty good class and gives a pretty good account of himself. His fights tend to be all-action affairs as well. Like Dean Phillips, he gave Colin McMillan a pretty hard fight.
Yes, this really is a terrific little matchup. Both of them very strong, very pressure fighters, all action. I think Phillips is probably the better puncher of the two, but an excellent matchup.
What does the tale of the tape tell us for this fight? Well, there it is for you. Judson is 6 years older. Phillips on the way through at 20. Can't afford to lose this one, really, though. Only an inch in the height. 2 pound weight advantage for Judson at 9 stone 3. Phillips is coming in quite light there. The reach, not much in it. Judson, much more experienced. He's had nearly 3 times as many fights, boxed a lot more rounds, and well, the knockout percentages, Phillips has stopped 5 of his 13 opponents, and Judson, well, he's stopped just 1 in 34. He's a light puncher, Judson. Here are the rules, IBF rules, and I really do wish, it's a bit of a hobby horse of mine, that they'd standardize these, the world governing bodies. There's no 3 knockdown rule in effect tonight, and the bell can only save a fighter in the last round. The rest of it is all pretty standard stuff, including the mandatory 8 count.
Ladies and gentlemen, this conduct is sanctioned and conducted under the rules of the IBF Intercontinental Championships. The supervisor at ringside is Mr. Bernardetto Montello of Italy, and the supervisor from the British Boxing Board of Control, Mr. John Morris. The steward in charge this evening, Mr. Dennis Lockton, and the judges at ringside from London, Mr. Roy Francis, Mr. Paul Thomas from Derby, and Mr. Marcel Rolou of Belgium. The referee in charge of the action this evening, Mr. Dave Paris from London, and the timekeeper, Mr. Colin Roberts. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, live and exclusive on Europe's premier sports channel, Sky Sports, and ringside on the road, it's big fight time. Frank Warren for Sports Network proudly presents a contest of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the vacant IBF Super Featherweight Intercontinental title between introducing the boxers. Firstly, in the red corner, we're in the red, white and blue trunks, and coming from Llanelli in Wales, He weighed in at 9 stone, 3 pound, and as a professional has had 13 contests. 10 of those being wins, 5 by way of KO, with 3 losses. Would you please welcome Dean Phillips. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the gold trunks and coming from Keighley in Yorkshire. He scaled in at 9 stone, 1 pound, and has had at 34 professional contests, 17 wins, 1 KO, with 13 losses and 4 draws. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Peter Judson. The referee, Dave Barris, will now give his instructions to both boxers.
Big night for both of these two. They'll see it as a stepping stone to greater things in their career. Certainly the most important fight that either of them have had. Not two fighters who've hit the headlines in any way at all, but they'll hope to in the future, starting this evening. So it's the IBF's Intercontinental title that's on the line here. Peter Judson from Keighley in Yorkshire in the gold trunks, the stripes of the young Welshman Dean Phillips. Neither of them are the kind who like to take a backward step. There's going to be an awful lot of leather thrown, I think, in this contest before we're through. Both busy fighters, these.
Yeah, both all-action fighters, very much pressure fighters, stand right in front of each other and just throw punches, and this is the sort of thing we should expect all fight.
Good body shots from Phillips, who's told to keep his punches up. I didn't see one go low myself, I must say. Phillips just making slightly smarter start with some quite sharp work. Straight punches through the middle and some body shots too. A lot of people think this young Welshman is a good little fighter. That was a lowish punch, the left hook from Phillips, but he's gone straight into gear here.
Yes, I think Judson's really making him fight, because Judson will come forward all the time. Phillips just getting through with better punches, although both of them have pretty tight guards.
Phillips will certainly be the one coming into this maybe with a wee bit more confidence on that run of 3 straight wins since his debatable decision loss to Colin McMillan.
It's decent work with the jab from Judson, just changing style a little bit and just catching Phillips with a couple of jabs.
That was another low punch from Phillips. Have to watch that, otherwise he could find himself incurring the wrath of the referee when it comes to possible point deduction. Phillips is certainly the bigger hitter, you would think, of these two, judging by their record. But Judson is very, very busy, and he's very resilient as well. Never stopped in 34 fights over 7 years, Judson.
Some good work getting through with Phillips with that yelp every time he throws a punch.
Welcome back to Bowlers in Manchester on the Trafford Park Industrial Estate. We go to all the glamour venues, don't we, Glenn?
We certainly do. And I think a good round from Phillips. He just got through with a few more, I think, which maybe got him the round. I think this is the low blow, which, yep, that was a definite one below the belt.
Second round, Peter Judson in the gold trunks. Dean Phillips, the 20-year-old Welshman, who both Glenn and I thought was sharp enough to win that first round. He does have this little habit of yelping almost as he lands his punches. Phillips, almost like a hammer thrower or a shot putter at the Olympic Games. Much sharper work so far from Phillips. Judson hasn't quite found any kind of rhythm, has he?
No, he just hasn't really slipped into gear. I think it's just the fact that Phillips is throwing more punches and just keeping Judson off balance a little bit. Solid right hand landed by Phillips.
Very busy, the Welshman, with his crew cut there, and Judson likewise with the short cropped hair. A lot of fighters in the last couple of years have been given a boost, though, by moving in with this Phoenix camp, where there's a really thriving atmosphere. We've seen the successes of Steve Foster and Ensley Bingham, and Judson will hope the magic can work on him. It isn't at the moment, but it's early. And he may well be planning a distance campaign for which he's well equipped, Peter Judson. That's his best work so far.
Phillips replies with some good strong punches.
Good stuff in this second round. Fight warming up nicely. Phillips' gum shield nearly coming out there. Judson beginning to land a bit more himself, though, in this round.
Yes, he's finishing the round just as stronger, just starting to slip into rhythm a little.
But Phillips certainly dominated the earlier part of the round. Looking all the time for those fierce-looking left hooks to the body is Dean Phillips. Rather higher work rate coming from the Welshman.
Yes, he's picking it up again at the end of the round.
It's better from Judson in this round, but he needs to improve again on this, really, to get really competitive in the fight. There's that feeling about it anyway.
Landing some good little uppercuts, Judson.
Now, 2 good rounds gone here. He won the first 1 minute and a half, he did nothing. It's only competitive for the last minute and a half. Welcome back to Manchester. Live boxing for you tonight for the IBF Intercontinental Super Featherweight title. There's the number of punches landed so far according to the computer. Phillips 84 to Judson's 67. That kind of confirms the impression that Glenn McCrory and I have here at ringside.
Yes, but this was better round this time for Judson. He just started to pick it up a little bit, and you see some of the quality work